What was your next question?
It was closely related. It was to do with the number of issues to be covered in a group at a time, because usually if issues are beyond 11 or 12 and beyond, then if they're going to discuss honestly, frankly, and exhaustively, then you find that you...
Yeah. So you have to think about this. I mean, another question is, what is an issue? An issue can be big or small. So you have to think about what is going to be the amount of time necessary to discuss this. And in Ghana, I was very pleased that they're planning on 2-day events rather than 1-day events. So the question is it a 1-day event? Is it a 2-day event? How many hours in small group discussions will we have? How many in plenaries? How will we distribute the time? And we'll divide it up, because for each component of the topic, we will have a small group discussion leading into a plenary session where the small groups have identified key questions that they want to ask to competing experts relevant to that topic or subtopic. So we may have different experts in one plenary session than another, because depending on what is being discussed. So we will divide up the agenda that way. But you're absolutely right that if there are too many issues, it won't work. But you would be amazed. We did this California-wide project, California-wide deliberative poll, where we had 30 proposals for how to fix the state. 30 of them. And it worked extremely well, but we very carefully budgeted the time. And the Chinese project had 30 proposals, so that's a lot. But you don't discuss them all at once, and you have to very carefully organize it. And you can't keep 30 proposals in your head at one time. So we inferred rankings of the proposals by having ratings. We would rate them on a scale, and that numerical scale would tell us how high each proposal ranked compared to another, but we ranked them one at a time, because after maybe even 3, you can't keep them in your head at one time, and the rankings don't become meaningful. But we've actually found that we can infer the rankings from the ratings. That is, each is evaluated on a scale, and you can see which has the highest average number, which has the second highest. That's what I showed you in China. So yes, but you're absolutely right that this is something to be very carefully considered. The number of issues and their sort of gravity and complexity as well. What's your next question?
To do with the sample size for the survey, I didn't sort of understand exactly how you determine the number of people for the survey. Sample size determination for people participating in the survey, and the role of the media.
Well, look, the first thing to realize, as you know, is you don't need a larger sample for a larger population. The precision of the estimates is about the same. So the question is what kinds of opinion changes do you anticipate? We found that for the number of participants on the day, 250, 300 is almost always plenty adequate for us to evaluate statistically evaluate the opinion changes. And then, but that's not the whole sample, because to get 250, 300 on the day, any place except in China, you have to interview a larger number. In the very first deliberative poll that ever took place, which you can see written up in an article called Considered Opinions in the British Journal of Political Science, which is on our website, you'll see that there were 800 who took the initial survey and 300 who showed up on the day. But when we compared the 300 to the 800 in their attitudes as well as their demographics, there were very, very few differences. So that we had the data to show that the 300 were a really good sample. But we had to do 800 completions, we had to actually have a larger number in order to get 800 completions. because some people contacted didn't want to take the initial interview.